The following stream contains mature content and subject matter. Viewer discretion is advised. We're doing this live.
Doing it live. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of our Old Gods of Appalachia. I am the Ravnos Archon. I'll be your storyteller this evening. Before we do a little wrap up of where we left off, let's let everybody introduce themselves and what their type, focus, and descriptor is for everybody.
Hey, everybody. I am Mama McStabber, and I am playing Prudence Ann Palmer. She is the superstitious sage, a granny witch, really, that fears no haints.
I am Timber Brad, and I'll be playing Georgie, a stout protector who walks these woods.
And I am Black and White this evening because I finally completed my in-character apotheosis and am beyond things like titles. But in a former life, I was Rand Barrow, a sharp-eyed explorer who cannot escape the darkness.
And
Put it back. I loved it.
Yeah. No. And as always, everybody, I'm Old Joe. I'm the shifty speaker who becomes the beast. And don't worry there, Rand. You were Black and White, but other things may happen to you. You know, you may just kind of fade away a little bit there.
Wow,
And you may know him as McStabber Studios.
Yeah, you know who I am.
The one, Shanky McStabber.
Everyone should know who I am on this channel by now, I hope.
He's just not used to being a player.
No.
And my brain is
so
fried.
focused on delivering his shipment of salt that he needs to focus on that
Yes.
instead
I
of his
love you,
introduction.
baby.
I'll make
I
you
want it
go
on
clear
record,
next.
by the way.
It's okay.
This is what I said in chat, that this was going to be the best or the worst best session in history because we are all punchy and frankly dumb already.
Before we even start this game, yeah.
8-10.
This is what happens when Shanky spends 2 days staring at Excel spreadsheets. His brain is gone, actually. It's mush. It's good. We're fine.
Mama wanted to throttle somebody at work all day, but you know, it's all right. It's good.
Yeah. It's there's no Excel spreadsheets in sight. It is 100 years before they even come into existence. So you should be
Clippy either?
safe.
No clipping.
No Clippy. But last we left off, we got to meet Kitty at the General Trading Post. They asked Geraldine to send her son over to see Prudence when he got home. We got to see a little bit of Rand noticing, because he's a keen-eyed observer. He got to notice a little boy in the window of the house and listen to some of the conversation as they left the orchard, the Drummond orchard. And then when they got to the Prudence's house, the Palmer estate, they were attacked by some nut deer, which throws some questions into the air regarding wards and the such. But we left off with them wanting to go back to the Drummond orchard to question Geraldine and get some answers about the things. But we didn't have Georgie last time. And now that we got Georgie back, let's pick up with him right where we left off, as Vernon Barrow just introduced himself to you and stepped up with his right arm outstretched, ready to give you a good old handshake.
Good day, Mr. Barrow. And he'll hold his hand out for a handshake, a very firm, strong grip.
It is cold. His hand is cold and clammy, but he shakes it. It's a strong grip. Joseph, I asked your father to show me around your property. Would I trouble you instead so that he can rest?
I would be happy to show you around. Can I poke my head inside and just let my folks know that I'm going to be gone for a little bit? Or should be out working.
Of course. And I've taken care of work for today.
Let me just poke my head in, and then I'll be right with you, Mr. Barrow.
Do it.
And then Georgie will step inside.
Yeah.
Letting hey Mama, there's some trouble down by the store. I was helping out Granny Palmer.
You see that they're both ecstatic, and they're looking at a $20 bill on the table.
Where in the world did you come by all that money, Mama?
Oh, Mr. Barrow gave it to us on account of him needing you for the day.
Yeah, I just met him outside. Just told him I needed to check in. Was gonna see if it was all right to help Granny Palmer out, but it seems my help is needed elsewhere.
Oh, we appreciate it. Your father was about to show him around.
Oh yeah, he Mr. Barrow asked if I could accompany him in Pop's stead, and I just told him I needed to check in with y'all.
Oh, perfect. I'll go tell your father that he can just rest up for the day. His back has been acting up about something awful.
I know y'all aren't terribly fond of Granny Palmer, but if he's aching, maybe she should come by and take a look.
No, we don't need any of that. No nonsense.
All right, well, you need anything for me before I go?
No. And again, she holds up a $20 bill. Look at it, Georgie.
I don't think I've ever seen one or ever will again, Ma.
She waves it in front of your nose.
When she does that, Georgie will just give her one of those. He's like noticeably bigger than she is, so he'll just do one of those like all-encompassing, gentle hugs. Give her a big old kiss on the cheek, and was like, "All right, well, I'll see you tonight, then, Ma."
All right, you be safe out there.
It takes something mighty to get through to me.
Yeah. And she gently taps your face with her hand. And it feels warm. It feels motherly.
And then, so Georgie will, Georgie will head out. And...
outside, you'll see Vernon Barrow just kind of brushing the mane of his horse. And with his back to you, the horse kind of turns its long head in your direction, and its eyes are a deep chocolate brown, but there's something not right about them. They look calculating to you.
The horse is probably too smart for its own damn good.
But it clops one of its hooves down to get Vernon's attention, and he nods and puts the brush back into one of the saddlebags and turns around. Joseph, where do you want to start, boy?
You're the one interested in the property. Where do you want to start, Mr. Barrow?
Show me the land. Show me where the lines end.
Giorgio, then follow me, sir. And then he'll walk off in the direction.
He crosses his arms behind his back as he follows you. How long have you people been out here, Joseph?
Generations at this point.
So you would be interested in selling?
Oh, that wouldn't be up to me, but I can't imagine we would be, sir.
You're a logger, yes?
That I am, like my family, my father's family, all the way back in the old fatherland, they call it.
You look the type. And he reaches out, tries to squeeze your bicep. Do you allow it?
When he does, he'll allow him to grab him, but as soon as he does one of those like subtle flexes where it's like he's grabbing onto solid mass.
Mm-hmm. And he squeezes, not like a fan, not like Kitty or somebody that's impressed. He is squeezing to test.
Yep. Yeah, Georgie's not going to back down from him. Yeah, he may got his money, but
yeah. When you leveled up to tier 2, you took a defense in intellect, yes?
I had the defense to intellect already, but yes, it is now specialized.
Oh, good. Good. If you could roll for me, as the moment that he touches you, there is this slither of a whisper that bubbles up in the back of your mind. If he's got $20 to give your parents to just take you for less than an hour to walk around your territory, what else could he possibly do for you?
Now, is this specifically a defense task, or is he attacking my intellect pool?
It is not him attacking the intellect pool, but it is a intellect attack.
Okay, so it's just the defense then.
Yeah, so it would be defense.
So I am specialized.
So I will ease the task by 2.
And then I have 1 edge in intellect.
Okay, so do you want to use some effort into it too?
Yeah, fuck it, why not?
Okay.
So I have 3 effort. What does that do for me?
So you have 3 ranks in effort, so you can push a task by 3. You can ease a task by 3. It gets expensive, I will tell you that. So the first time you push effort into a task, it costs you 3 points total minus whatever edge you have, and then it costs 2 more points on top of that total for every level of effort you want to push into it.
I'll just do the 1.
Okay. With your edge, it'll lower it to 2.
Okay.
You've eased the task by 3 total now.
So that drops down my pool then for intellect, correct?
Correct. So,
so I'm going down how much you said?
2 points.
2. Okay.
Yeah. Which is probably better than any kind of intellect damage you would have taken.
Okay. And then roll.
So now you roll. You've lowered it by 3 to a difficulty of 4, so your target number is 12.
Okay.
So you need to be a 12 or higher.
15.
Perfect. The idea of what Barrow money could do for your family starts to bubble up in the back of your mind. Your parents not having to work, not that your mom does, but the fact that your father still will go out there and chop lumber just to get some extra money on the table. Like the idea of them not wanting anymore is really enticing for a split second. But as he's walking with you and as you've been talking about different odds and ends, and you don't remember why, but you've told him about your relationship with Kitty. You've told him about how everybody is afraid of Granny Palmer except for you as far as the family is concerned. And you don't remember how the conversation got around to that or anything. But you're snapped back when he asks about Rand. And that's when everything kind of, you push everything out of your mind and you come back to the here and now. And he stops at one of the corners of your territory and is just like, sorry, Joseph, did I catch you in the middle of a thought, perhaps?
I mean, they come to me so rarely, so it's hard to say, but...
You look like a good thinking boy.
Well, thinking isn't the problem. It's doing anything with the thoughts. But... So, just so I'm clear, is he pressing me about, like, a thought about Rand?
The moment that everything clears up for you.
Okay.
You remember that he asked how long you have been hanging out with Rand Barrow. With Rand Barrow.
Yeah. I've only known Mr. Barrow, the other Mr. Barrow. Short time, only earlier today. We found ourselves in a matter of similar troubles.
So, Joseph, it would be safe to say that you have no allegiance to Randall Barrow. Yes?
I mean, all friends are new at some point. Who's to say?
This is true. What if I offered you a job, Joseph? Barrow Mining could use a man of your talents.
Oh, mining ain't for me, Mr. Barrow.
No, of course. But you know woods, you know logging. We could use a new logging supervisor, given what's happened.
What's happened?
You didn't hear, George.
And when he uses the George instead of Joseph, it kind of takes him back because only like family and people close to him call him Georgie, or people he says to call him Georgie call him Georgie. Yep. So when he calls him George, it's unnerving.
Brandon Hallow found himself on the wrong side of a falling tree. So the Barrow Corporation needs a new logging manager. Are you interested, Joseph?
Well, with all due respect, Mr. Barrow, I kind of like my life simple. I do appreciate the offer, but I kind of like my life the way it is.
I understand completely. You make your way back to the front of your house, and as the talk turns to different things here and there, different people, When you reach the saddlebags, when he reaches for his horse, he pulls an apple, rubs it against the top of his chest, and pops it over, underhands it to you.
Georgie will take it. I already had breakfast this morning, Mr. Barrow, but I'll save this one for lunch if you don't mind.
Oh, of course. It's a gift. I was over at the Drummond orchard earlier today.
Once he gets the apple, he is going to I'll hold off on that for a second.
Okay.
Sorry.
He gets up on his horse, puts on his hat. If you change your mind about the job, Joseph, please, do not hesitate to see me. You know where my house is, yes? Between Calhoun and Burwell, the end of the streets.
Everyone here, Mr. Barrow, knows where your house is. And I do appreciate the generous offer. I will keep it in mind.
Take care of your family, Joseph. They're good people.
No, I don't need you to tell me that, Mr. Barrow, but I appreciate you saying it nonetheless.
Clicks his teeth and pulls the reins, and the horse gives you a look, almost like he doesn't want to leave just yet, and then gives a heavy neigh and turns around and starts clopping away.
And then Georgie will immediately head back towards, now that he has the day off, and he'll stop back in once Barrow leaves, just to let his mom know that he's done with, Barrow, and that he's going to go off since he's got the day, and help with Granny Palmer.
She gives you a look, like not of disappointment, but definitely of wanting.
She doesn't approve of the company I keep.
Correct.
Yep, I know that look. I've gotten it from my mom lots.
So it's not disappointment, but it's definitely
she wants better for me, and she's a superstitious lady. I get it.
Want for better, for sure.
Yep.
And the moment that you step outside, did you leave the apple with your mom, or?
No. He's taking it to Granny because he doesn't trust it, especially after, how we just kind of got him to talk about all sorts of things, and then the offer, like something about it doesn't sit right. And then, especially with the events of this morning, Georgie doesn't necessarily trust it without someone looking at it.
Yeah. I will tell you that just to make things fair, I will consider the information I had you give Vernon as a GM intrusion. So you get an XP for that, and you can give somebody else at the table an experience point.
I will give it probably to Rand.
Okay.
Because he kind of dimed him out a little bit.
Fair. The moment you step outside, you're not sure if it's the weather cooling or just the kind of presence of the barrow still lingering in the air. The apple feels cold to the touch. The skin is, even though you've been holding on to it, like you still shift your thumb over, or you kind of reset it in your grip, and the skin feels cold.
Yeah, there is all I imagine this thing feels to him is spooky, and the only person he knows who deals with spooky as good as anyone is Granny. So that's where he's headed.
Okay. The moment you step out onto the road and you start making your way over, you will hear, "Hey," coming from the tree lines.
Do I recognize the voice?
You know what? Give me an intellect check. It's not going to be difficult. So, do you have anything to help you with memory?
No.
All right. Don't get mad.
I don't know. Does logging have anything to do with it?
No. Yeah, none of your skills.
Breaking an inanimate object.
You want to break your skull open? Yeah, no, it doesn't look like you got anything.
Yeah, no, so I just got the one edge.
Yeah, so you could use some effort if you want to. The task itself is simple. It's only a difficulty of 3, so it's your target number is 9 or higher.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's. I imagine if I don't recognize the voice once I see the person, so it's not worth.
Yeah.
Wasting anything.
Okay.
Another 15.
All right. You hear the hay. You look out towards the tree line, and there is the shadow of what looks like somebody standing there.
Mm-hmm.
And it's weird because the moment that you see the shadow on one side of the tree, you see another one on the other side of the tree, and as both of them have been made aware of you, they both shrink into the tree.
Nope. Georgie turns around and he's heading straight for Granny.
Okay.
And if he is going to be making sure that if he sees, like he'll keep kind of like looking over his shoulder if he sees that these people are following him, then I want to do something.
Okay. It isn't until you get to right around the bend of the Palmer house, the Palmer kind of land, that you see what looks to be one of the carts from the logging camp. You can see some of the dressed lumberjacks that you've seen here and there, but as they're leaving the territory, as they're leaving the kind of gate that leads into the land, they turn away from you instead of going towards the forest line. And as you hear that hey again, you turn, but there's nothing behind you. And when you turn back towards Granny's place, lumberjacks are gone. The cart is gone. And all that's left is the kind of soft echo of clopping.
And once again, the catchphrase for Georgie today is nope. And he's going to run straight towards, like, he is a man that is clearly not built for cardio. But he is going to run a little quicker towards Granny's.
Yeah. And you'll see that Granny's youngest is helping Gunther Drummond up off the floor. It looks like Rand Barrow is over by what appears to be some eviscerated deer. And there is old Joe still a bear?
There are no remains of the deer.
No,
yeah,
old
if you
Joe.
remember,
Yeah, I was going to say, didn't it like goo?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Never
and then
mind.
old
Yeah,
Joe walked
there's
into the
nothing-
woods, came out,
Yeah,
walked into the
there's
woods as a
nothing
bear,
left of the
came
deer.
out as person.
Okay. So there's some strange mounds of dirt near Rand, and it looks like old Joe is making his way towards them. Granny looks like she's watching over her youngest help Gunther up into her house.
now that he's got everybody in sight and he knows he can go and talk to Granny, he's actually going to stop by Rand first.
Okay.
Just fair warning, Mr. Barrow. There's another Mr. Barrow asking about you in town.
He kind of looks up, and for just a second, Georgie swears he sees that his eyes, maybe it was one of the tree branches, maybe it's the fading light, but for just a moment, his eyes didn't have any color. They were completely and totally black. And then the moment passes after he blinks, and he kind of looks almost surprised to see him there. Georgie, sorry, I didn't see you come up.
Yeah, it's okay. I am hard to miss.
You move like the wind and shadow. You are stealth incarnate. Yes, I have a cousin, I believe, here. I'm supposed to be seeing him. I've just been putting it off.
Well, just wanted to give you a heads up, as they say. He did seem interested in how long we have been acquaintances, so.
And did you share with him the deep, abiding secret that we've known each other for 6 hours?
I did.
Sting of betrayal is deep, Georgie, but somehow I think I'll be able to live through it.
Well, I'd appreciate it, Mr. Barrow.
I appreciate you letting me know.
That's the problem with letting the Barrow in town. They're like seeds. You put a little water on them and they spring up everywhere.
Everywhere.
Yes, well, I believe Miss Palmer is over there if you're looking for her.
Perfect. And then Georgie will do his short little jog over to Granny.
Yes, sir.
At some point between him coming out of the forest or him shortly before he came out of the forest, did a small black canary show up?
It is within your line of sight, but it is keeping its distance.
Okay. Gotcha.
Things of the damn deep ain't usually welcome on Granny's property.
Correct.
It's just a bird.
Doesn't matter.
So that
deep.
That poses an interesting question.
Mm-hmm.
Does anything happen with the apple with Georgie getting close to Granny's property?
Does it age?
Ooh, load.
If you look at it as you're about to hand it to Granny, it looks like a decayed apple.
As soon as he pulls it out and he sees that it's decayed, he instantly just kind of like drops it out of reactions like.
Now, Georgie, what you got there? And she as you approach her, she's leaning heavy on the railing that is on her steps. You can tell she's exhausted at this point.
Georgie take like almost in like the same movement. As soon as he drops the apple, he finds himself like going to help her down.
Yeah,
like just give her something solid to lean on.
And she picks it up.
It did not look like that a moment ago.
Well, now who gave you this?
And he'll say it loud enough that everyone here could probably hear it, but he'll point over towards Rand as like his cousin, apparently. The Mr. Barrow decided to pay a visit to my family this morning.
Oh, did he? That
seems extremely interested in our property.
Well, I'm sure he is.
My cousin is in the habit of distributing rotten fruit to locals.
Let me guess, he got this from the orchard up the road.
The Drummond farm.
Mm-hmm.
It was very, very cold, and he offered it to me, and I got a bad feeling about it, so I wanted you to take a look at it. And This isn't typically how I give gifts, Granny, but
she's gonna.
One doesn't.
She says, "Come on with me, gentlemen. Let's get some refreshment after all that. And you too, old Joe. Come on."
I don't need nothing.
I don't care if
Come
you
on,
think you
Joe.
need nothing. You at my house. I'm going to offer you. Come on.
if Joe resists moving, Georgie will put like an arm around his shoulder and sort of like strong arm him into the direction.
Old Joe moves like the old bear. He just kind of lumbers.
And she goes in and she takes the apple and she actually slices it open.
I immediately dodge.
There's nothing to be afraid of.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't go in all the way. I stand on the porch because I'm watching the woods because I'd heard a voice talking to me. So I'm not going in the place. I'm just watching the woods.
That's fine. That's fine.
Yeah. You go in, the kitchen's not too
It's
far
like
from the front door.
right near the door.
Yeah, the houses aren't huge.
No, it's not a big place. It's
No, but I'm just watching the woods.
2 rooms, a sitting area with a dining table, and then a kitchen.
Yeah.
I'm sure I can hear what they talk about. I'm just
We
watching
have
the woods.
an outhouse. There is no indoor
Yeah.
plumbing. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Leaving the door open is fine enough. Darndest thing, you cut open the apple and it looks pristine and fresh and inviting to eat. Even has all its seeds still in a row.
That is fascinating. Things of the dark don't do well on my property. You see how it looked nice when you got it, but when you got here, it looks like it's been sitting on a shelf for far too long.
It was also really, really cold, like Mr. Barrow's hand was.
Oh, his hand was cold too. You see, Gunther was real cold too. I thought he might be sick. And
it
found
doesn't
out he
take-
was.
You hear
doesn't
shivering.
take the deductive capabilities of a Conan Doyle to realize that this is all linked to the orchard. And there is
And
something
thus to Mr. Barra.
correct. It appears that my kin has something to do with this poisoned produce.
He's a mining magnet, and he is digging too deep, I think.
Or he's simply looking to diversify his portfolio.
That too.
He tried to offer me a job. I tried to tell him only things go underground are the devil and the dead.
And you right, Georgie. You's a good one. You right.
I'll stay up here where my trees are, if you don't mind.
There's
No.
things in the trees that'll get you just as much as things in the ground. I can tell you that from
Yes.
my own
But
experience.
I'm a
I'm
little
comfortable with the
concerned.
things in the trees.
I'm a little concerned that those not deer showed up on my property.
What not, dear?
The what?
The not deer.
Well, those definitely were not deer.
Exactly. They look like deer until they decide to attack, and then they are certainly not deer.
Georgie
Well,
looks utterly
see how they
confused at
came
this
up with that
point what
clever
you're
name.
talking about.
That is a very clever name for a very accurate description. Those were definitely not deer.
Those are definitely not deer.
No.
I
What
understand,
weren't
understand
deer?
sarcasm, Mr. Barra. It's quite cunning.
Joe,
But
the canopy shifts slightly. Nothing there.
Let me see what I got here. Hang on a second.
meanwhile, we're continuing the conversation.
Yeah, keep going. Keep going.
Granny, I'm a mite bit confused. What is not but is also deer?
Yes, you see, these creatures, they are of the dark, and they appear to be deer roaming around the forest. They sometimes will do the haze you hear when you're out walking alone.
I heard some of them on my way here. There's a
Mhm.
couple of them following
They
me.
prowling. They prowling. They got awful close. See, I've got, I keep my bones and my gourds that are dried out and things like that around my property, right? I hear when when things are moving that should not be moving. And they triggered it, and then we had to fight them. Now, Mr. Barra here and old Joe, they did a good job. I called in some reinforcements. I didn't know where on earth you were, Georgie.
I didn't fight.
Now,
Some bear jumped out and helped, though.
I'm sorry it took me so long to get back.
Don't you worry. I'm just glad you're
the
safe.
bear did a very good job of acquitting himself in the conflict. I
Bears
am
are
grateful
usually of
to
the
bear.
green.
I'm grateful to the bear for everything that it did, and I hope that the bear feels appreciated wherever it might be in the forest right now.
I can tell you, bears don't do shit to feel appreciated. Bears do things because they a bear.
You're right about that, Mr. Rand.
That is true. But now, we took care of them. And I'm sure there's more out there. It seems, according to Mr. Barra here, I'm being followed. I imagine I ain't the only one, especially if the other Mr. Barra was asking questions about folks. He's very interested in buying up as much of this land as he can.
I just thought it was interesting that someone, and this is meant as no disrespect, Miss Palmer, but you are not a person of means or stature where I felt like you deserved to be stalked, and yet you were being followed by something, which did make you immediately interesting to me.
Being nosy's beneficial, Mr. Barra.
It has made me quite a lot of money over the years.
Indeed.
And quite a number of enemies.
Of course. Of course. Because those that got stuff to hide don't like nosy people.
Luckily, no one in this group has anything to hide. And therefore, we all have nothing to worry about.
We don't have to worry about it. And she looks pointedly at old Joe.
He's not looking. He's staring at the woods.
Of course he is.
He is intently looking out at the tree line. And among the things that are there are this strange out-of-season canary kind of perched, looking intently across the property line. But old Joe will see that there is a catamount just behind it, stalking it, getting closer.
That's nature's way. I don't care about that. I'm just going to watch close, though, because I'm a little spooked now because of the voice talking to me.
But the best thing you can do, as you know, Georgie, and I want everyone here, even our newcomer, Mr. Barra, if you ever happen to be walking along even just the edge of the woods and you hear a voice that may even sound familiar saying, hey, just ignore it. Keep walking. That's the best thing to do.
Has made very much sense since I've gotten here.
Don't expect it to make sense. It just is.
It has been very educational. However, I've learned quite a bit about myself and this place and even my short time.
Indeed. You come from an interesting family, Mr. Barra. You may be touched a little by the dockets yourself. But that's all right.
And at that, Rand displays very little to no reaction because Rand is much better at hiding his features than Ben, the role player.
And it's all right if you are. Because not all dark things wish to destroy all humanity.
As far as I am concerned, in matters of light and darkness, one cannot exist without the other. And the darkness's natural space is between the light.
Of course.
The crevices.
I don't disagree
with you. That's where it belongs.
You would think, because I live by the salt of the earth and I toil daily with it, that I would be more focused on the green things, but I'm not. You see, ultimately, the deep dark and the green want the same thing. to destroy humans.
You need to be more worried about the darkness that we all keep within ourselves, not what's in the ground anyway.
Exactly. Humans themselves are capable of grand cruelty.
Humans are capable of the worst cruelty, in my experience.
Exactly.
They
You traveled with the war, yes?
need no colors awful.
Yes. I lost my
Present company excluded, of course.
I lost my second husband to that damn war. I don't care one bit for it.
When Granny Palmer mentions the war, everybody hears a thunder rolling in the distance, storm turning the sky darker off in the horizon. Joe, however,
Didn't I say once before about bringing up the dead?
Joe, I bring up the dead regularly. They ain't gonna harm me.
Joe, you hear a
I have
thunder
noticed,
crack.
even in my short time of knowing her, she has brought up the dead several times.
The more that they start talking about the dead, Georgie just kind of like closes his eyes and just puts his hand over his ears and just kind of sits there. It is more like not so much like blocking it out, but like a self-soothing sort of thing.
Granny's gonna take this apple that she has split in her hands and she is gonna throw it on the hearth, on the fire, and let it burn.
I heard a crack of
The
lightning.
thunder crack. Nope, gunshot.
Gunshot.
Rifle, by the sound of it.
What direction?
Behind you?
You probably got some company. I recognize a rifle shot anywhere.
Everybody else will see Joe just stand there, lost in his memory. But when Joe turns around to kind of give them the warning of the gunshot, Palmer House isn't there. There's a farmhouse. There's a field, corn. And you can hear a child playing. And then a scream.
Ain't
Horses, more
I'm supposed to
gunshots.
see this. I was getting rid of this for a damn reason.
The door to the farmhouse opens.
You take that deal back. We made a deal.
Come inside, Joe. Come inside.
Saying here, I'm not supposed to remember this anymore. We made a damn deal.
Everybody will hear we made a damn deal as Joe comes back.
Yes, you did.
A deal with whom, Joe?
Mr.
Your
Mayor,
damn business.
it is not your business.
As I said, there's things in the woods you should be worried about, and the dead should stay dead.
They stay dead.
No,
It's
they
our
don't.
memories that keep them alive.
Sometimes they're supposed to stay buried. Memories and all. And Joe's actually going to start walking off the porch. He can't stand to be around people at the moment. And actually, you see him, he's shaking visibly. He's like, his hands are like, he can't keep control of himself right now.
Yeah.
That's a very troubled man.
While I was following the army for a few years, I've seen a similar look on a number of other faces.
It's trauma.
It is.
Damn that war.
And everyone like it. I was not present in any of the conflict in the War Brothers, but the nation required a
report.
Shifting of focus afterwards,
Of
and the
course.
Western expansion was what I covered.
Gotta prop up the people. Meanwhile,
Manifest destiny is the most horrifying thing that I've seen in my life thus far.
I don't doubt it one bit.
A close second will be what came out of me when I ate that apple butter.
I don't doubt it one bit that manifest destiny is a brutal and gory thing. And there are many who die for it. It was played out in a smaller scale just here in this area. But,
So
please.
I have to ask, what are we going to do regarding my cousin and the landowner nearby? I feel incumbent to do something to prevent other people from being potentially poisoned. And it seems that there is definitely something strange going on.
I am
that should
going
be
to
investigated.
purge that damn dark spirit out of their property.
And how do you intend to do this, Miss Palmer?
Just watch. You might learn something.
We could try fire.
I'm not going to burn their property to the ground. I'm not going to
just a
burn
suggestion.
their orchard. I'm going to cleanse it. And you can help.
I want to ask how, but I don't.
Don't ask. Just when
I don't.
when I need your assistance, just offer it. You might get
I will
something
do
out
my
of
level
it.
best. Oh, I'm getting plenty out of this. I'm already, my mind is already spinning with the stories I can tell and the books I could write on.
And
just
nobody
this
in your big
afternoon alone.
cities will ever believe it. They will think you are writing fiction.
Yes, nobody needs to believe it. Lewis Carroll made a lot off of Alice in Wonderland.
Indeed.
Dime novelists make hand over fist on fanciful tales of gunfighters in the Old West. Oh, the West, rather. It's not the Old West this time. It's the current West, the Prime West, West Prime. Yes, current events, news. Let's go.
Now, I need to do something real quick. And she is going to take a dried apple off her shelf and carve it into a face and hands and craft an apple head doll with some scraps of fabric that basically will protect her belongings, what few there are in this house.
Okay.
Because there is a stranger, for all intents and purposes, sleeping in her daughter's bed.
There is. So, Miss Prudence has crafting of magic trained. So it shouldn't be too difficult to create a warding cipher. Now, is this a cipher or is this just something to ward the house?
It is something, she's going to set it up on a shelf just to ward the house.
Okay, so it's not something for somebody to use. So it's going to be just.
But it'll have the
blanket?
same effect as like not yours. It'll protect all the belongings. Because she's going to send Clara up to the big house where her son lives, and she's going to spend the night there.
Okay. Yeah, because it's not going to be something for somebody to use, it'll make the difficulty much easier since it's just to kind of protect the house.
Yeah.
So let's have it start at a difficulty of 4 with your crafting training. That'll bring it down to difficulty 3. Because you have training in using magic, it'll lower it to difficulty 2. So 6 or higher.
Excellent.
If you're happy with that.
And as soon as Granny starts doing anything remotely magical, Georgie is going out to the porch because nope.
And Rand, as you observe what she's doing, you see her she's still got the paring knife in her hand from where she sliced open the other apple. She washes it and cleanses it and rubs a few herbs on it. And then she grabs a dried apple off her shelf in her kitchen and she just peels it and then carves a couple pieces off of it and makes little hands, look like almost mittens with some finger lines in it. And then she carves out a face on the remaining part of the apple and slices off the stem and puts it on a small stick that she ties another couple sticks to for arms and legs, and then puts the hands on the ends of the 2 arm sticks, and then she takes little scraps of cloth and quickly stitches it in place to make a little dress.
Oddest thing outside as you walk out, Georgie, there is a fish, and the nearest river is maybe 200 yards away, just flopping around.
How in the worlds did you get out of here? And he'll pick the fish up and like look around for like some sort of like pail of water or something to put it in.
Oddest thing, the flopping just kind of called your attention out back, and it isn't even like some bird must have dropped it off. Like, there are no marks to show any harm has come to this fish.
But it's a fish out of water, and water is nowhere nearby, and it hasn't died yet. So Georgie is going to try to make sure it doesn't, because he doesn't know why it's here. So yeah, he's going to like try and look around really quick to see if there's like a well with a bucket or something
There's
with
a
water
trough.
that he. Yeah. So he would take the fish and like throw it in the trough, like
As you go to go do that, one of the abilities I do have is I can speak when I'm in animal form.
You can. This is the best day for Georgie.
For the extra level of effort, which, is worth it.
Sure.
And it's Joe's voice that comes from the fish as it moves. There's a reason I was on the ground. You might want to put me back.
And immediately, Georgie drops and goes, nope, and walks away.
And then I'm going to shift back with a gasp.
Did Georgie's nope of surprise be loud enough to register?
The gasp would be
inside.
The gasp would be loud
100%.
enough.
Okay.
100%. That whole conversation happened for everybody.
Georgie is not having a good day.
I stroll onto the deck because this weird thing could be weirder, and so
Old Joe's trying to catch his breath now.
Mrs. Palmer continue to make a children's toy, or I could find out what's got Georgie, the Brock Lesnar looking lumberjack, suddenly spooked.
Clara, it says the Yankee's so nosy, he's gonna see some stuff he ain't never seen before.
Yeah. And Georgie just looks like he's standing on top of old Joe.
Oh, yeah.
He's out of breath.
Georgie's like, no. And it like, wherever like the fish, like the direction it was, like he doesn't even notice that it's Joe. He's just his eyes are closed, his hands are over his ears, and he's just saying nope.
I look down. I kind of mentally put 2 and 2 together.
Sure,
because I know what's going on.
You do.
Well, I changed. You don't know what I was, though.
No, I don't know that you were a fish. That's an intriguing choice and a fascinating one that I could dive into later with more time. But for right now,
I don't even know that Georgie has necessarily put 2 and 2 together, because he saw fish, the fish talked to him, he dropped the fish, and he immediately went into his nope phase. So he doesn't even know the fish is gone and that Joe is there.
Don't worry about Georgie there. I think he got startled. He saw something that couldn't be, right, Georgie?
Oh, Georgie probably can't even hear you because he's literally got his hands over his ears and he's just like, nope.
Humming some spiritual to himself.
Yeah, and stands kind of in Georgie's line of sight and just does this until
his eyes are like literally his eyes are closed, his head's down. Like, so someone's going to have to touch him to get him to stop.
All right, I'll take the bullet. I gently touch Georgie on the shoulder.
Touch him.
I'm ready.
Touch him.
I'm ready.
Like he doesn't get startled necessarily. Like, it's once somebody like touches him, he just kind of, that's usually like his sign that the spooky shit is past and that it's somebody letting him know that he can like
that it's safe
come
to
out.
open your eyes. Yeah.
Yeah. Because he does the same thing around Granny whenever she does
All the
anything
time.
spooky. Turns around, head like it's
And
that's
she'll
his.
just lean over when she's done and tap him on the
Yeah.
shoulder.
Yeah. So once someone touches him, like, and immediately he'll look around for the fish.
And all you see is Joe.
Not
You look
there.
like you saw a ghost there, Georgie.
Maybe I did. Why are you on the ground, Joe?
You know, sometimes you get a spell, feel you need to make amends at some things, so you get down to the ground and you tell it, you know, you're sorry for past actions. I was just making sure I commune with the Lord.
I can't fault nobody for that, but didn't have to do with a fish, did it? There's a fish just flopping around out here.
I think you're seeing things there, Georgie. I think you've had a rough day.
Yes. In what reality would it be possible, warranted, or expected that a fish would turn into a man, or that a man would want to turn into a fish?
Especially flopping around on the ground, not able to breathe. He'd have
Exactly.
To be some
That is
sort
insane.
He'd have to really fucking hate himself now, wouldn't he?
Yeah, that's crazy. That is what that is. That is peak crazy. That is.
It's like one of them stories. No, thank you.
Not the strangest
then
thing I've heard of.
That's not crazy. And you see Granny standing at the back door of her cabin.
That's not crazy. And the old woman comes out with an apple-headed Blair Witch doll.
Oh no, she's
That's not
already
crazy at all.
already put it up in a secluded place so nobody would notice it. Yeah. So she's just standing there with a hand on the hip and says, "No, that's guilt.
It's a powerful thing, Granny.
It is. I know it intimately."
It is. We all got
That's
stuff we
dope.
got to bear.
And
Doesn't mean we want to talk about it.
of
Some
course.
cases doesn't mean we can talk about it.
And Georgie immediately looks confused again because he feels guilty for almost nothing.
And she just kind of ignores the confused Georgie because he's just a young thing and he ain't gonna understand shit. And so basically, she looks at old Joe and says, "Did you give up your memories and your deal?"
Don't remember.
That makes about right.
Don't
I
poke
knew
it.
you made a deal. I didn't know what.
Don't
I
poke
still
at this
don't know.
wound.
I'm not going to. It ain't my place. It ain't my place. I don't judge you for it.
Everybody got secrets.
Georgie,
Sometimes secrets get so heavy, you need to offload them.
I understand.
Sometimes the only way to offload your own secrets,
To get rid of them altogether.
get rid of all of it. They talk of hollow men out here in these woods. Let me tell you something. It ain't nearly as hollow what happens when you lose a chunk of yourself that way. But it's still better than the alternative.
Thunder
What?
rolls in the distance.
Understand, I do feel sorry for you.
Don't feel sorry for me.
Well, I will anyway.
I did it to myself.
You don't get to choose that. I do.
I did it to myself. This is my punishment. This is
I know. The
my
fact
cross
you
to
think
bear.
you need to be punished. That is what I feel sorry for.
well,
what
we
I
can
did,
punish
but I
ourselves
obviously need to
later.
be punished for it.
Let us go down to the drumming place, everyone.
Georgie,
had-
by any chance, you can't throw trees or leap over buildings or some other such.
Oh, ye
ability.
of little faith.
I haven't tried, but it might be possible.
Okay. I'm idly curious. We have a farmer who can commune with the dead. We have a man who is conspicuously absent while fish and bears are present. A reporter and a big fellow. So I didn't know if I needed to be aware of any talents you also possessed.
You got any talents, Mr. Barrow?
I am very perceptive.
And you're
I'm-
very good at hiding.
I'm well spoken.
You ain't that good at hiding,
Well,
Granny.
I could see him, but I can see most things.
Then given that at least two-thirds of you can see me apparently at all times, I am not very good at hiding.
Oh no. For those that are not given talents.
No, I'm reasonably perceptive. I'm incredibly friendly, and I can make probably 3 shots in 5 with a revolver.
That's not so bad. That's better than me. Let us head down to the drumming place. Clara, you coming with us up to your brother's house because you're going to stay there tonight.
Okay, Mama. And she comes in with her little rucksack already prepared.
I ain't leaving you alone with some strange man in the house. Come on now.
I know. And the moment you leave her at the main house, you start to hear the pit, pat, pat, pit, pat, pat of the rain that starts.
Mm-hmm.
Soft, gentle, still in the distance, but it's making its presence known. So by the time you get to the Drummond house, it's quiet. All you hear is the rain, a little bit of the wind, and the soft, soft humming coming from the barn. But the house is quiet. Rand will see the little boy looking up at him from the window.
Prudence is going to get down from her cot, and she is going to grab her bag. And she is going to look at the orchard and see if there's at least one apple left on the trees. As she advised the colored woman.
Yeah. A couple of trees in the back still have their apples.
Good. And then she's going to knock on the front door.
No answer.
All right.
The young, just to clarify, was the boy in the upper floor, or was he?
Nope.
Where did I see him?
On the first floor, the front door window.
Okay.
Can I see him?
Nope.
Because I have sensey unseen.
As we're waiting for somebody to come to the door, Joe's going to start telling a story. You know.
And while Joe is telling a story and everybody's conveniently distracted,
well, I'm using my power anecdote to give people a bonus by telling a story about something.
What you telling a story about?
You know, back when I first came around here, I wasn't from this area. I wasn't part of these parts. So I started poking around at things and started looking at things out in the woods one night. I saw it. I wanted to learn. And that's where I saw the man that wasn't a man. It was made of vines. And it's walking through the woods. I'd never seen something like that. Never heard of something like that. I followed it. Followed it back. Found the damnedest thing. There's a bear. Big old bear. Bigger than any bear I'd ever seen. You know, the two of them talked. It wasn't in words, but it was the creaking of leaves with a grumble of a bear, but they understood each other. That's when I learned going out here in these woods, there's just because think you know, don't mean you actually know anything. Always keep that in your head. And that's going to give everybody for the next hour an asset to knowing the unknowable, which is one of the skills in the game. So everybody gets an asset for knowing the unknowable for listening to my story.
Immediately at the end of that, Giorgio looking was like, "Oh, don't worry, Joe. There's a lot I don't know." And he'll do like 3 like solid knocks, like comparable to like police hitting on a door. Just in case Granny wasn't quite loud enough, Georgie is gonna do the doof 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 on the door just to try and see if that
the rattling of the door is such that by the 3rd hit you have shaken it so hard that it's come off and you hear it creak open. And the first thing that hits you is the stench of iron copper, metallic taste in the back of your throat, blood. And everyone will hear what sounds like a child's footsteps running away from the door. But there's nothing visibly there.
As soon as the door swings open, George is going to go immediately into that. I'm sorry.
Here's your chance to roll knowing the unknowable. What was that?
And Prudence says, well, I'm not. And she steps across the threshold, and she is going to roll know the unknowable, whatever that is, because she don't have it.
And Rand
You're trained in it now.
And Rand has vanished this entire time, and nobody can see him.
Yeah, I don't get the benefits.
Georgie can.
I don't
Georgie
get the benefits of anecdote,
Probably
but everybody
Prudence
who
can, but-
heard my story does for the next hour. So
Yeah.
I just don't get the advantage of it.
Oh, Georgie don't want to know and thus ain't rolling.
You get it eased by, because you're counted as trained now, so you get it eased by 1.
You get it eased by 1.
I got a 15 on that.
Okay. Could Prudence explain to everyone how terrible Geraldine reacted to the loss of her first son? I mean, what does Prudence remember of him, his name, his countenance, anything, everything?
Yes, absolutely. She walks in and she says, Paul Geraldine, when Noah passed, she was inconsolable. He was the apple of her eye. Spitting image of her. Angelic face. Sweetest countenance you ever seen. Kind and generous little boy by the name of Noah, the one who led the Israelites to salvation.
He's staring at you from the archway that leads to the kitchen.
And you dare wear his face.
The smile that creeps up over this little child's face is not Noah's.
No, she knows it ain't Noah. Noah's spirit would not be contaminating apples to poison people.
Sky is black now.
She
The rain
points at it and
comes
she
down
says,
hard.
you thing of the dark, you are not welcome here.
The house rattles.
Your reign of destruction is over. And she stomps her foot and opens her bag and she starts to get to work.
As Granny does this, I want to reach for my the cipher that Granny gave me earlier.
Yeah, sure.
And Georgie's just muttering, Father, Son, Holy Spirit, protect me. And then, yeah, for the next day, anytime I'm attacked, the charm bursts magic that knocks the attacker back.
With Granny's stomp of her foot, the house rattles. The thunder cracks above you. The rain starts to pour down hard. And the little child becomes visible as you hear him skipping around the kitchen. He hops up onto the counter, and as he does, the table flips over and you see that Geraldine is face down on the ground in a pool of blood. And as he starts to cackle, threading becomes visible as the blood itself connects from the pool up to his fingertips, and the carcass of Geraldine starts to crack and creak as her bones pop in inhuman ways, and her splayed out chest is laid open to all of you, and she lets out this moan that will take us into our break. We'll be back in a couple of minutes, everybody.
Here we go now.
Ooh, that slick little creep into our break. I hope nobody's mad at me for that. We left off with some shit about to go down in the Drummond house. So if everybody could give me their initiative roll, please. Who is trained in initiative?
I am.
I am both trained in initiative, and I have a new ability when I am in an unfamiliar setting where if I apply effort to initiative, I get a free level of effort in initiative.
Right.
So I'm going to apply effort in initiative.
Okay.
I love these
that's
dice.
a speed action. So,
Yep.
I got a 20. Natural
I have
20.
an
Nice.
natural
speed
20.
edge
Okay.
of 1.
I got a
So you'll definitely
17.
go first.
I got 18.
17.
Natural 20. That means I get
I
to
got
create
to
a...
go get my dice because Ben bought a new phone and his dice roller was not on that one.
Oh.
And his dice are over in another area. So please hold.
We will hold.
Unless somebody would like to roll a 20 on my behalf.
No,
I'd
go
be
ahead and
20.
grab one. It's
Go ahead and grab
Yeah.
one. You're rolling for you.
Grab
It's
dice.
fine.
Yeah, you grab
Oh, yeah, you don't want what I rolled.
No. What did Georgia get?
Go get you some dice
Georgia
there.
got 18.
18.
Okay, one moment.
Damn.
Turns out my old phone still functions. So,
Okay.
one moment.
Granny got a 17, you said?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, shit.
Granny motivated.
Yeah, for real.
She came in stomping her damn foot.
You sure did. I was like, you know what? Maybe this might be unfair because one of these guys is
That was an 11.
and then Ben made it better for me. So Ben, first, second, third, fourth, fifth. Ben is sixth on the track. Oh no. Perfect. Okay. So Joe, you got the highest. You got a critical success. So we're gonna make you go first.
So I'm going to have an effect that comes with it because of the critical success. But
Do it.
starting off, Joe, everyone's going to see Joe. His body shrinks down. And where Joe was is a rather big tufts of hair sticking out of it boar. I mean, I'm about 200 pounds, actually about 220, a little bit more than that, of boar sitting there where Joe was.
Yeah.
And you can hear the huff as he shifts. And then he's going to move between Granny and the corpse. And in the process, I accidentally bumped the table, which shoves into the corpse. That's my major effect for my natural 20. That to push the table into the corpse to make it stumble a bit. As I stand, I'm going to be guard between Granny and that corpse. And it's not getting closer to her.
Okay. So you're not gonna for your turn though, you're gonna attack, or are you just gonna be defensive?
I mean, it's shifted. I haven't seen it come and try to attack her yet. So,
Okay.
you know what? After knocking the table, I'm going to go and just bowl my big ass into it.
Yeah, gore it.
Yeah.
Why not?
Fuck it.
You got tusks.
I'm a fucking boar. Let's do it.
Georgie just saw a man turn into a boar. Like his day is so fantastic right now.
I plan to address that on my turn.
No shit.
Okay.
And I get one free level of effort because I'm trained in medium weapons in this form. And that's what my weapons account as. And I got an 11.
11.
Yeah, I didn't spend any extra might. I'm saving it.
All right. That'll hit Geraldine.
Okay. Which is 4 damage. Since I used my major effect for my crit, I don't get the extra damage from it, but that's fine.
Yeah.
I just wanted to hinder it so that it's easier for everybody to get this round because it's been hindered by a table.
It has. And now that you're up close, you notice that her chest and stomach have been pushed out. Though it doesn't look like it was pulled apart, it looks like something erupted out from her.
And I imagine my tusks just tore big chunks out of where her stomach was, just throwing viscera everywhere.
It's strange because the way that the body is moving, it was holding on to something, was keeping its organs intact. And the moment that you came up and just started goring, it let some of its intestines fall out and it almost feels like they're slithering around your neck like a snake. But that'll bring us to Georgie.
Immediately, Georgie be like, me and you gonna talk, Joe. And then question.
Talk. Answer.
I'm going to attack. Does this count as breaking an inanimate object? Because the definition of inanimate is not alive.
Because I want to see what you want to do, I'll say yes.
Cool. So then I'm just using it in theory as like an asset for an attack is the idea.
Break the table over him, Georgie. Come on, there's a table, man.
Oh no. I'm gonna swing my double bit axe.
Oh shit.
Okay.
And use crushing blow.
Okay. What does that do for the audience?
So for 2 might points, when you use a bashing or bladed weapon in both hands and apply effort, which I will, you get a free level of effort on the damage.
Okay. Okay. And who are you taking the swing at, Geraldine?
Yeah. And I will also scream, sorry, Miss Drummond, and then, yeah.
Sorry, Miss Jackson.
Ooh, I am for real.
I'm sorry I took the money. I'm not sorry I took the money.
But yeah. So I have 1 edge and 3 effort. So I am going to use edge and effort, which gives me a free effort.
So how many levels of effort are you putting in before the free one?
I will put in 2 effort.
Okay. So it'll normally be 5 points, but you have 1 edge. So it'll bring it down to 4.
So I will spend 4 might.
And it'll give you 3 levels worth of effort.
Yeah. I'm sorry. So that extra effort is towards the damage.
Okay.
So the first one is just, so I'm only down 2 levels.
Okay.
I'm down 1 less level than whatever I was supposed to be at, because the 1 is towards the damage.
Okay. So yeah, so it's still 4 points.
Okay. So I'm looking for a 12
effort into the hit.
Yeah.
So no. With your 2 levels of effort and your training with the weapon, because you train with the weapon, yes?
No, so I switched out the weapon training thing. But that's why I asked about the breaking inanimate object.
Okay. Yeah. You don't need to roll. You automatically hit. You've lowered the difficulty enough to where it's 0 for you.
Sweet.
So how much damage would you do then?
So how does effort work towards, does it just give me an extra point of damage?
Yes.
7 points of damage.
Holy crap. Okay.
Because I'm using my big axe.
You definitely
It's
are.
your big boy weapon.
Now, how does it look to everybody else? And Georgie's used to cutting into things. So how does it look to everybody else when Georgie almost cleaves straight through Geraldine Drummond?
I do believe silence is the appropriate response.
It is a thing of grotesque beauty.
Okay.
And Prudence just says, "That's my boy."
Yeah. So that'll bring us to Granny Palmer herself.
And she takes out her bag.
The Geraldine puppet is still up. By the way, it is up and unhappy if it could be happy. But the puppeteer itself is still on the counter.
It's a deadfall twig of black laurel.
Yeah.
She grabs out of her bag. She holds it up and then points it directly at the thing that should not be here, masking as Noah, and says, I said you are not welcome. And she will do slicing strand on him.
What does that do for the audience?
That she's basically pulling a strand of magic. So as you see her doing this, you see almost a glowing glow, a golden glow surrounding this stick. Okay. And literally, she points it at him and it like shoots a ray at him.
Hey. So that's going to be invoking some magic then.
Yes,
so it looks like
is.
To me. Mm-hmm.
And it does 4 points of damage. Mhm. Just automatically, if it succeeds, it does 4 points of damage.
Okay. So let's find out if it succeeds.
Yes.
You have training in using magic.
Yes, I do.
So that's going to lower it by 1.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have anything else
I would
skill-wise?
I have a significant intellect.
Okay.
With edge, and I can apply some effort.
Sure.
Because I believe she is going to be putting her all into this.
Okay. So the wand itself will count as an asset for you, so that's going to bring it down already 2. It's going to ease it by 2. How much effort are you pushing into this? You've got 2 levels of effort that you can push.
I will do 1 level of effort because I have 2 edge and intellect, and that 1 effort will be free. Yes?
No, the first level of effort is always 3 points.
Oh, it is? I thought that with edge, it knocks it down.
It does.
Okay, so it'll be 1 point.
It'll be 1 point.
Okay,
correct.
so I will take the...
and then 2 points for the second level of effort, which means you end up paying 3.
You know what? I'll pay 3. I'll use both. I'll pay 3.
Okay.
It's worth it.
Yeah.
Because that might enhance my damage.
That'll bring it down a total of ease it by 4 levels. So you're looking at a challenge of originally 6. You're now at 2. So your target number is 6.
Excellent.
6 or higher.
That is a 17.
That is on the cusp. That is literally the lowest level that you can to critically do something. So you're actually going to do 1 more point of damage.
Excellent. So I will hit him for 5. He will literally be surrounded by a glow as this beam hits him. And you will see him affected by it. Storyteller, I'll leave it to you to discuss how he's affected by it.
He snarls, and for a moment, you see from both pinkies the strands snap, leading down to Geraldine's body, and the boy spirit starts to kind of splash out with the impact of this magical attack on him, and you see this gnarled, burnt skin underneath wherever you hit him. And his face twists and contorts, and he locks eyes on you and then just kind of pushes his hands outward, and there is this wave as the strands of blood tighten and become taut, and the monster that is Geraldine just turns her sudden face in your direction, and you can see the eyes have gone white, the mouth is slack, and drool has come down. This is not Geraldine anymore.
Oh, no. And she literally has not blinked once, staring at this creature. And she's like, I'm not afraid of your minion. You're going down.
Okay. So let's see if Granny Palmer can withstand. Well, no, actually, the puppeteer goes first, so he commands Geraldine. So now it is Geraldine's turn, and she will lash out at
I do have
Granny's.
a +1 to armor due to my warding.
Ooh.
Geraldine's going to have a hard time reaching Grandy when I'm
There's
all
2
up in her
bodies
face.
in front of her between her and Granny.
That's why I was there.
That's yeah. So let's have Granny. Well, Granny or Joe, who wants to roll to see if Geraldine can get past the board?
Oh, I'm not letting the board past me.
Yep.
I'm not letting Geraldine pass me. That's why I'm there.
Okay. Let's have you roll to see if you can keep her at bay. You want to do this with might or speed?
I'm doing it with might.
Okay. So you're forcing yourself
Now,
in between them.
This doesn't count as defense, though, right?
It would count as a defense roll.
Okay, so I'm trained in that.
Okay.
That gives me an extra one there. So it gives me
That'll
one
ease it by
level of
one.
effort. I'm going to buy me another level of effort, which costs me 2 points for might and 1 speed, because when I buy a level of effort might, I lose the speed doing it too.
Okay.
Yep. Part of my.
I was
one of
also
my
going to
bad
say,
quirks.
I'm pretty sure Georgie is also between Geraldine and and Granny.
Okay.
So-
And I'm still out on the porch where it's safe.
So
Yeah.
it's hindered, and I have 2 levels of advantage, or 2 asset levels, or effort to it,
okay.
and 14.
That's enough. Yeah, that's enough to get it to not move. So instead, it will attack you for 4 points of damage. Since
So-
you've put yourself between Granny and it
I'll take it.
lashes out at you instead. And that'll bring us
I get 1 point of armor from my leather jacket when I shifted form. I also, because Boris has another point of armor natively, gives me
Yeah.
2 armor. So I take 2
So,
damage
2
to my
points.
might.
Yep. Nice.
Mhm.
And that'll bring us to Rand.
Well, this has certainly been an interesting last 6 seconds.
Right?
So Rand is out on the deck, and the night is very dark. And to anybody observing, you can't really tell where the shadows of the trees begin and Rand ends. He's kind of absorbed in it. And as the lightning flashes outside and the rain is falling, for just a moment, the lightning flashes through the window, casting shadows into the room. And those shadows are like barbs and chicken wire wrapping around the spectral form of the puppeteer, tearing at it and holding it in place. And I am going to invoke one of my powers.
Okay.
Because it does not say the person affected needs to be physical. And that is going to be Ribbons of Darkness for the next minute. Darkness condenses within the area within long range, no bigger than an immediate distance in diameter, manifesting as swirling ribbons. All tasks attempted by the creatures in the area are hindered. Leaving the area requires the entire action to move.
Okay.
So that will be our puppeteer. Anything it attempts to do is hindered, and if it wants to get out of it, it has to take its entire action to do so.
Gotcha.
And I will take the remainder of my little round here, making sure nothing's sneaking up on us from outside the cabin. Say, for example, a member of my family lurking in the trees.
Sure. Sure. All right, so everyone will see these shadows suddenly come up and wrap themselves around the puppeteer. And it kind of looks down at them and looks over in Rand's direction and just starts to shake its head. Joe, you're up.
Now, this time, I want to save some of my. I don't want to keep using all my might.
Mhm.
I'm going to do something. We'll do something a little different.
Do
I'm
it.
going to, with a loud hoof, my boar, who's not very happy with that. He's going to use Shake the Bones on what I'm fighting. Going to shake
Nice.
and rattle its bones right to the core. And since that's an intellect power, I got 3 edge. I might as well give myself 2 levels of effort. Yeah, 2 levels of effort right off on that, which only cost me 2 points. Yep.
Yeah.
As I shake the bones, which will do 4 damage. It's 2 might, 2 intellect. But I know creatures don't really have might or intellect pools, but they may have might or intellect defenses. So it tells you what it's on.
Yep. It did not have any of those defenses, so it takes the full brunt of your
9 damage, or 9 is my roll.
Yeah.
So 4 damage to it.
On the money.
That boar's hoof noise is so loud it damages the bones of what I aimed it at.
You see the conal effect of your roar, your disbelief at the situation, and it just sends parts of Geraldine in every direction. All that's left is just kind of...
It hurt me. I like that.
Just the back of its rib cage holding up the top of its shoulders and its head, and it just collapses onto you and slides off with its head looking up, its jaw kind of slacked and just staring up at Georgie. The puppeteer's strands fade to nothing, and it just brings its hands together, and it brings us to Georgie's turn.
At which point Georgie is going to say to Rand, "Mr. Barrow, we're gonna talk." Because this is the first time he's seen Rand do something crazy.
He still hasn't. Rand is outside, and you are all firmly focused inside. All you see.
That's fair. I saw the shadows. I did. Okay.
Shadow barbs attacking the creature.
That's fair. That's fair. So Redcon, that didn't get
the only person that's actually seen him invoke it in real time is Joe.
Yeah, we have a deal.
Bears process information.
Say, me and Rand have a deal about that.
Yeah, Joe's good at making deals.
Well, I was going to say Joe also gave away his product for free to Georgie. So, yeah, Georgie doesn't know any better. So whether or not he thinks it's going to be of any use, and because Georgie is very much a one-trick pony, I am going to swing my axe at the puppeteer.
Swing away.
Making sure to position myself between it and, or keep myself positioned between it and Granny.
Done. It is very simple to step up to where the carcass of Geraldine had been standing and just kind of go to town.
Yeah. So I'm not going to use yeah, I'm not gonna do crushing blow because I don't even know yet if that's gonna do anything.
Sure.
So, and I don't have anything other than physical stuff. So yeah, you know what? Yeah, you know what? Screw it. So I am basically gonna take a double-handed swing at the puppeteer, trying to see if something will happen.
Okay. So you got rid of your training in the weapon, so it's going to be a flat roll. You want to put
got rid of my training?
Didn't you say that you got rid of your training in the weapon?
Oh yeah.
So it's going to be a flat roll.
And yeah, the breaking inanimate isn't going to do anything, but I do have 1 edge
on your might.
Yep.
Okay. How much effort do you want to put into it?
If I do 1, it'll cost me 2.
2 points. If you do 2,
yeah,
it'll cost you 4.
I'll put 1 in.
Okay. So I'll lower it by 1. So that means that your target number is 12 or higher.
12.
Okay. So you bring the axe into what you think is this ephemeral, ethereal creature sitting on top of the counter, and you thunk into something solid. How much damage did you do?
So it's the big axe, so that's 6.
6. Now, you see its head crack, like the neck cracks as the head just goes completely 90 degrees in your direction. Georgie, we're gonna have some fun, you and I. Granny's turn.
Oh yeah, we doing it again. I said get gone.
Get going. Go on, get. All right. It's gonna be the same difficulty.
Yes, it is. And I will apply the same, so I'm knocking my intellect down by 2.
Oh.
Because she is pissed.
Yeah.
Don't piss off a granny.
Don't piss off Granny, Palmer.
Ooh, that's a 16.
Okay.
Little less effective than last time. She's getting a little tired. She's been fighting dark stuff all day.
All damn day. So how much damage does that do? 4?
Yeah, that's 4 damage.
All right. It hits it, and again, it ripples past him. You can start to see the skin that he's wearing of this Noah child starts to break apart.
Show your true face, damn it!
It smiles as you yell at it, and the head corrects itself with another loud crack. And if I could have Georgie give me an intellect defense.
Oh, shit. I'm sorry.
Just no.
Reaches out one of its hands to you.
So, just so we remember, Georgie did use the charm of banishing, so this is an attack against him.
It is.
So he's getting knocked back.
Okay.
And hindered.
Yeah.
And then question, does this count as a intellect pool attack?
It does.
So then I've got 2 extra armor on top of that, because I am dumb as shit.
So stupid. I would say so stupid intellect attacks, just they miss a lot because there was nothing there.
Yeah, and it does specifically say I have the 2 armor even against the thing against your intellect pool, which normally ignores armor. I've got armor specifically because I am too dumb.
Okay. So then you've got the specialty in that, so that's gonna lower it by 2.
And an edge.
And you're gonna use some effort?
I'll do an effort. I'll do 1.
Okay. So that'll cost you 2 points instead of 3 because you have the 1 edge. So it brings it down by 3. So your target number is 9.
Oh shit.
No.
No. Okay. Is it a 1? Because that gives
no.
So the creature reaches out, and you can see.
I'm going to spend an experience point. Go ahead and re-roll that. You can have that experience you gave me back.
Woohoo! I forgot that was the thing. I could use one of mine.
Yeah.
Ooh, 14.
Oh, damn it.
Well, if you want to give it back, you can use one of yours.
No, that's fair. That's fair. I forgot that was the thing. I will use the one he used.
Okay.
I will use.
Done. I'll take my XP back.
No, I will use mine instead. Thank you for reminding me that is a mechanic in this.
That is an
amazing system.
You can use your experience to re-roll a die, any die, in fact. So,
yep.
It is not just limited to
Georgie wavers for a second, and then just the completely blank stare of his face is resolute, and it just nothing gets through.
I will use a GM intrusion here as you fight off its attack. I will give you an XP point back for that. And who do you want to give your XP to? The extra XP point.
I will give this one to Granny, since it seems this thing's got it out for Granny, and Georgie got to protect her.
She's the sage of the group.
Yeah. But for a moment, you see its tendrils of blood start to like reach out like earthworms in the rainy mud, kind of coming towards you. Ultimate amount of fear just kind of pushes your walls up around your mind, but the intrusion is there, and behind him, through the window out into the orchard, a lightning crack lights up for a split second the field outside in the Drummond estate, and you see, instead of the trees, hanging there, crucified, foliage coming up out of the flesh, out of the fingertips, out of the chest. You'll see Philip, you'll see Matthias, and you'll see Michael, all of them staring at you, all of them moaning in pain and suffering.
Oh,
But that'll
that
bring
should
us
just
to
make
Rand.
him angry.
That'll bring us to Rand.
Rand heard you. He's just taking in the moment.
Yeah, take it.
So I've hindered it. I'm reasonably certain I can't shoot it.
Well, I was going to say I've hindered it too.
Yeah, it's double hindered. It is so hindered.
Super.
I'm going to spend my action. So indoors, the barbs continue to snake and wrap around the spectral creature, and outdoors, the shadows are twisting and moving, and they begin to crawl over Rand, and Rand is not even fully aware it's happening. And he looks up at the roof of the cabin, and he can see the glowing red eyes of the black canary. And he feels drawn to them. And without really realizing what's happening, those same tendrils pull him to the ceiling of the roof of the cabin, and he's facing the canary, and he just looks around. Long story short, the shadows have carried him onto the roof, and he's now surveying the entire orchard from a higher vantage point while hidden by the shadows.
Sure.
Rand can now fly.
Okay. Half an hour later, we get to what you were trying to do. Perfect.
Yeah. I was describing things. I'm sorry. I was doing narrative.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. Next time, don't do it as a robot. Joe, brings us to you.
I quit.
You know, I'm not going to try to jump in on the spirit, because those damn shadow things that were hindering it, I don't want to be up on. I don't have an axe. I just have some tusks. That ain't going to be a good idea. So it's time for some shake the bones again.
Oh, okay.
Shake its bones.
Do it up.
Let
So
it
that one isn't
go.
trained or anything. So it's just right now it's a flat roll. I'm going to give myself. Let's go for fun with this. Fuck it. I'm going to give myself 3 levels of effort.
Ooh!
Oh, shit.
Cost me 4 of my points out of my intellect pool.
Damn.
Mhm.
It's hindered, so
Uh-huh.
you should be fine.
I'm not counting on my luck has been way too good lately. So I get 3 levels of effort plus it's hindered. That drops it by 4.
Mm-hmm. You're target number 6 then.
6.
Nice.
God damn. Yeah, I'm glad I did that.
Yeah. And so
I still got 10 intellect left in my pool. I'm still good.
Okay. How much damage is this going to do to it?
4, 2 might, 2 intellect. So 4. Don't have bones. It just I shake its form all the fun.
Yeah. And you see pieces of the Noah child start to fall away, and reverberate with its damage, and underneath you see what looks to be scales, like a serpent kind of trying to move around. It's definitely not human, whatever it is. Georgie, what do you want to do?
What are there, other than flavor, effects of Georgie's experience
With hate?
So I know like Georgie has a thing where in theory he can induce fear, which if they're inducing fear onto me, is it like a similar thing where like is there some sort of game mechanic that hinders rolls or whatever?
If you're talking about if any of your rolls are hindered, they're not.
Okay.
You've passed all the tests as far as it trying to do anything to you.
Okay. So the idea then of spending the GM intrusion is sort of forcing the thought into his head, regardless of like mechanics.
So the GM intrusion mechanic is basically a yes but instead of a yes and.
Okay.
That's the simplest way to introduce it to you.
That's perfect.
It's like, yeah, you do this, but I also want this to happen to you.
Mm-hmm.
So because of that, here's an XP point. Give somebody else at the table an XP point, and I get to do what I want, regardless of whether or not you succeed or fail.
Oh yeah, no, that has done probably the exact opposite of what it wanted to do.
I bet.
Yeah,
That has royally pissed off Georgie.
Oh yeah, Georgie is crushing, is moving straight up to it and going for a crushing blow on him.
Do it.
So that is another 2. I will spend, or I'm going to spend 2 effort, and I've got 1 edge.
So I'll lower it to 4 points total.
Okay. 18. I rolled an 18, which I think has a special thing.
It does. It increases your damage by 1, I believe.
I want to make sure I know exactly how much it does.
Yeah. I mean, if you're doing crushing blow, you're probably going to be doing a lot of damage to it.
18. If it's a damage dealing attack, it deals 2 extra points of damage.
2 extra points.
For an 18.
Perfect.
So crushing blow does an additional 2. Oh no, it does an extra level of damage. 6 plus 1 plus 2, so 9.
9. Jesus, even with its armor. What is going through Georgie's mind when he sees his brothers used as a mockery?
Georgie, especially with his brothers, when they were having the conversation earlier about the dead in the war, like Georgie was very specifically avoiding the conversation because it's still very, like they were the only brothers he ever had, likely the only brothers he'll ever have. So for him, it's to see them brought up, and then especially with Georgie's sort of belief that the dead need to stay dead. He agrees with Joe on that, which is also, I think, why the whole ghost thing with Granny spooks the shit out of him. It just, like, Georgie's a good-natured boy, and he is pissed. Like this is probably the angriest. Certainly Granny, like everyone else is probably, like Joe has never seen him like this. Obviously Rand has never seen this. This is probably the angriest Granny's ever seen. Mm-hmm. And it's just like rage. Like I would imagine it, like I would liken it to probably a D&D barbarian rage at this point. Like he's just he has one thing.
Divine retribution.
Yeah.
Sure is.
Yeah, he is the angel, and this is the serpent. Like this is,
and Just
Time to get biblical.
just like St. George fighting the dragon, the axe comes straight down, cleaves this thing in twain. Serpent parts go flying everywhere. There's no head. There's no visible head or tail. It's just serpentine chunks. The axe does not stop when it hits the counter. It hits and continues down until Georgie has brought his axe down against the very earth under the foundation of this house. And the entire house is split down the line that Georgie has cracked into this abode that once was a home, that once was warm, that once bore fruit. And outside, all the trees that had their apples picked have withered, husked, and turned petrified in the darkness as the rain starts to let up. The thunder rolls again into the distance as the storm passes, and only the barn is left. Only the 2 or 3 trees that you told Mamrie not to pick the fruit from are standing. And then a hush falls over the land. It's only the little pit-pat, pit-pat, pit-pat of the rain as it starts to slow.
I think the quiet is probably like once that initial surge of anger, like his emotions like rubber band, and I think Georgie just sort of like collapses on his knees and starts crying. Because he misses his brothers.
And just like the not deer, the remnants of the creature and the corpse of Gertrude begin to get absorbed by the tendrils.
Okay. So slowly the corpse of Gertrude will start to ash and fall and just leave behind this vaguely shattered humanoid shape behind. The serpentine pieces of the puppet master that exploded out from Georgie's rage don't become ash. They don't get eaten. They end up themselves being pulled back into a different shadow, a darker shadow, almost like a letter being returned to sender.
When I see that, I'm going to slice Strand again. One more time, and I'm going to hit that clump of shadow to let it know Granny's coming.
I immediately scream and fall off the roof. Just kidding.
So I will roll again. I will not expend any effort because Granny is fucking tired.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ooh, that's a 16, so it at least hits.
Yeah. Somewhere, something got served notice.
That Granny's coming.
Yeah.
As doing that, Joe's going to shift back to human form. Bit of blood dripping down his hand from a wound on his shoulder where the thing got hold of me. I'm just going to drip a little blood on the floor just because I'm hurt. But I'm ignoring it like I'm not even been touched.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then Granny looks around and she grabs a damn broom, twists off the handle, uses it as a bit of a walking stick, and goes out to the barn to talk to Mamrie.
Okay. As everybody's trying to figure out their place in the world, and as Georgie starts to pull himself together, you'll hear a scrape of the axe head metal grinding against something else that's metal, buried in the earth underneath the foundation of this house. Out back at the barn, it looks like the room that the humming was coming from, where you can see a little sliver of light under the door as Mamrie might be in the middle of something.
Granny don't even knock. She just bursts up in the door.
It looks like she was just sitting in a simple chair. The room is tiny. It is, at
Of course
best,
it is.
10 by 15. There's a bed, there's a table and a chair, and there's just a makeshift kind of closet that is another broom handle that has been propped up. You can see the nails kind of sticking out of it. But she looks up from the Bible she's reading.
And legit, Granny Palmer has the fucking twig in her hand, the broomstick in the other, and says, "Did you summon that damn thing?"
Miss Palmer, I don't know rightly what you were talking about.
I don't have the energy nor the patience to be lied to. Please tell me honest.
I would never lie to you, Granny.
Then gather your things and get the hell out of this area. They're gonna blame you.
For what?
Gertie's dead.
When you see her do the sign of the cross.
There was dark things in her house, tainting the trees and the apples they bore, and tainting this family. I have cured Gunther, but you need to run.
This house ain't never been the same since that lieutenant came by.
Yeah, I'm about to check out the lieutenant's place as soon as I get some rest.
And she comes over, she closes her Bible, she comes over, she grabs your hands. Thank you, Granny. I appreciate you warning me. I'll find somewhere else to be.
You just worry about staying safe, dear. Get the hell out of here, because they're going to blame you. And she turns and she says, "May God bless your path, and may the lady ensure your protection." And she turns and walks off.
Okay. Oh, you will find the gentleman back in the house.
I don't care what y'all do with this place. Just know it's all Gunther has.
And then
Heard
from
something.
like where
Rattle with the foundation. Something clattered a little bit after.
Yeah, as Georgie pulls the axe out and he notices that metal that Joe's talking about, he'd be like, "Hey, Granny, come take a look at this, please."
She does.
Pushing aside the dirt with your hands or with your feet, you'll see what looks to be something wrapped in red satin. A horseshoe.
Damn fools. They had asked me how to do it, they would have done it properly. She takes the damn horseshoe, unwraps the red satin from it, takes the horseshoe upstairs, says, "Georgie, go find me some nails and a hammer."
He will.
And when he comes back with nails and a hammer, she's going to tell him, "Now you can reach this because you're a big old boy. You put this upside down above the door."
He'll follow her exact instructions.
Anything going on outside on the grounds while this is going on?
Nothing. The horseshoe, once the satin has been unwrapped, will have crude etching on it that reads Virginian Army property.
Her husband was in the war with mine. He came home, mine didn't, but that's all right. Horseshoes is good luck if you know what you're doing with them, but if you don't know what you're doing with them, they bring all sorts of bad things to your doorstep. This will ward this place from bad luck. It don't matter if it came from the Virginia Army or the Union Army. Iron is iron. Thank you, Georgie. I need to get home. Right tide.
And old Joe he's not moved. He's just standing there looking around, dripping blood on the floor.
Yeah, it is. Now that the storm is past, it's clearly nighttime. This has been a hell of a day.
She walks over to Joe and puts a hand on him, and she's going to heal him.
Okay.
It'll be the last thing she does this night.
As soon as you touch him, he tries to jerk away. He don't like human contact.
She don't care.
Yeah.
So she is going to spend 3 intellect points. This is legit the last thing she is going to do this night before she has a nice long rest. When she touches an impaired or debilitated character.
I'm not either one of those. I'm not impaired or debilitated yet.
That's okay. It moves them up a track. So you will see his wound closed.
Yep.
And the bleeding stops.
Supposed to let a man bleed. Needs his scars as a reminder.
Oh, there'll be a scar. Don't you worry. You just don't gotta
What?
bleed all over the damn floor.
And
And then
plenty
she
of
do-
times for bleeding, Joe.
And then she turns and gets back in her damn cart. Nellie will know the way home whether she leads her or not.
Yep. It's not terrible.
Oh, and Georgie will walk alongside the cart until Granny gets home, and then Georgie will walk home from there.
And as everybody kind of goes their own ways for this evening, I think this is a good point to call it for tonight.
Old Joe's going to turn himself, get away from people, turn into a bat, go sit his ass in his cave for the night.
Yeah. And we'll see what happens when this group meets up again to deal with the shadows in Salem. So thank you guys for this 3rd chapter.
You ain't scared? You ain't got me going. You not gotten in my head yet.
I got one more chance.
Mm-hmm.
Bats are cute little rabies vectors.
Especially now that I have 3 edge, which means I can stay in bat form because I can just keep renewing it without costing me any points. So I can just hang from the ceiling all night. Yep. He's not fit for the company of people. At least that's what he feels. So I do thank everyone. I thank, Ravenous Archon for running this, the players, you, the viewers. Let me fix my lighting a little better now. Now I can light my face up a little bit more because I'm not lurking in my shadow. I do thank everyone for being here tonight. I hope you enjoyed this. We got one more episode left, which will be, next Thursday. And of course, join us on the Discord. That's where the show come from. That's where we cast these shows from. It also gives you the first look at some of the new stuff that's coming down the pike. You'll see casting calls. While we were playing tonight, I actually have the idea of what I'm going to run for my old gods. So it won't be right this second. I'm going to wait till this is done before I post up a casting call because I'm already got 3 games going a week. So you'll find out about the 3 here
All
soon.
the games.
Yeah, I'm going to run, but now I have an idea for what mine story is going to be. And it's going to be fucked up. Just saying. I already had a great idea.
I bet.
Yeah. But so join us on the Discord. We also do hangouts. I'll be fair, we haven't been doing them as often lately because, well, shit. We've either been dealing with no spoons or dealing with the fact that we've got another stream coming up starting this Friday, which leaves stuff behind the scenes that we're stuck doing. So please join that Discord. If you want to catch back episodes, go to our YouTube. Thank you, Astro, for doing the Discord link. Go to our YouTube. That's where we have all the back episodes of this stream, back episodes of our all the other streams. We got so much damn content, let me tell you. And if you want to see some D&D or Call of Cthulhu, go over to Ishvel's channel. That's our wonderful Dr. Tiss. And for those that didn't watch it last weekend, Urini was in it and brought his own special form of chaos. And he rolled a perfect 100 fumble during Call of Cthulhu because, Urini. That's what happens.
You're any, not your outie.
That's right. If you want to see some amazing content creators, check out our friends list over there. The You're Any joke comes from my chat software. We use voice chat Mumble. The voice text readers on, and whenever he joins it, it says You're Any has joined the channel. So now he's You're Any. catch great content creators. One of them is running this game, Ravenous Archon, but we'll give him a chance to say what he does here shortly. You want to get some studio merch? We've got studio merch. If you want to give something to the players, bits and donations, they go to the players, not to the studio. If you want to give something, show your thanks to the players. If you want to give something to the studio, KoFi does that. You can subscribe on Twitch. Twitch takes half, so, you know, it is what it is. If you're watching on YouTube, you can like the video, subscribe to the channel, comment on the video, hit the little bell icon to get notified when we post shit, because like right now, we're posting 3 streams a week right now on the channel. So, you'll get good content, something to watch while you're working. Not that I would ever encourage people while you're working to be having streams on. I'm just saying something to watch while you're working. And, yep, now I can turn it over to my wife for the schedule.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for coming to see us tonight for Old Gods of Appalachia. And tomorrow we have premiering at 8 p.m. Eastern, our new Modern Knights Vampire the Masquerade V5 Chronicle, Kansas City, A Domain Divided. Join Shanky as storyteller, myself, I'm one of the players, Timberbrad here is one of the players, and a host of casts that some of those you will recognize from our Windy City stream, and some you will recognize from our Call of Cthulhu stream, and some you will recognize from our Demons stream, and one will be brand new. So his
debut on our channel as in a chronicle. So yeah.
So join us tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern for that. Yeah, I'm hyped because, oh my God. And of course, Saturdays, Call of Cthulhu 7E at 3 p.m. Eastern with your Rennie, not your Audi, guesting yet again with the investigators of the London Esoteric Society, run by the amazing GM Dr. Tiss. So join them.
Sus.
Oh, totally sus. Totally sus. Join them at 3 p.m. Saturday Eastern. And then on Sunday, starting at noon Eastern, running until about 7-ish, 8-ish p.m. Eastern, is going to be the Windy City After Dark, our Modern Knights Vampire V5 Chicago Chronicle that we have completed. We are doing a marathon rerun of that, and we are picking up with the last part of season 4. So it'll be the last few episodes of season 4 and possibly even the memoriam running on Sunday from noon till about 8 p.m. Eastern. Join us for that and have that running in the background as you do other things, because it'll be going all day with only the intro at the very beginning and just seamlessly running from one episode to the next. And then, of course, Wednesday, we will be back here, myself and Ravenous Archon, at Shanky's table yet again for Vampire the Masquerade Dark Ages with Junie Von Esch and Maddox and Zach Rules. So join us as we deal with running Belgrade in the state of Serbia in the year of our Lord 1250 as K-Knights who are not putting up with any fucking nonsense. And then, of course, Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern, all of us at this table will be back here at 8 p.m., as I said, and you will see us finish up this story of Old Gods of Appalachia. So join us then.
Yep. And Ravenous Archon, we'll start with you. Tell everybody where you can be found, what you got going on.
Hi, everybody. I hope you guys are having a good time enjoying this scary story leading us into Halloween. I have my own channel here on Twitch where I run Vampire the Masquerade 5th Edition. I run Werewolf the Wild West and Legend of the Five Rings, where you might see Ben pop up. And every other Thursday, I was running 7th Sea, but I've taken a break for October to run this ghost story. And you can also catch me on Wednesdays playing the lovable scamp of a Lasombra that is Agustin de la Cruz, who has done nothing wrong this entire campaign.
Rev Ben, what you got going on? Let everybody know.
Outside of playing in Ravnos's L5R game periodically, I'm not doing much on the internet right now. I'm going to be doing a playthrough of the game Slay the Princess on my Twitch when that comes out on the 20th. So I'm very excited for that. Other than that, just if you live in New England, come catch me DJ. I'm doing a gig in Manchester on Halloween night. But other than that, that's it. That's everything I got going on.
So, and Timber Brad, tell everybody where they're going to find you tomorrow.
Well, yeah, so I'm here on Thursdays, and then, tomorrow we start Kansas City After Dark, and I've already been threatened to die, so, we'll see.
You're playing a Tremere, though. I should let you live, even though I threatened to kill you, just to make you stay as a Tremere.
Yeah, there's some regrets there, but so that's going to be a whole lot of fun. But yeah, outside of McStabber's games, I do nothing but work and sleep.
I mean, that's valid. And as always, everybody, when we end the stream, we like to do our little PSA about mental health. Please take mental health seriously. I want you to take your own mental health seriously, first of all. It's very important. That's the most important part. And also, almost as important, is take everyone else's mental health seriously, too. But when it comes to mental health, you've got to take care of yourself first. And if you know people and you haven't heard from them for a while, or, just in case, reach out to them, check in on them, make sure they're okay. Because a lot of people can mask things really well, and they're not okay. And it's good to check in with them to make sure they're able to handle things. And if you suffer from mental health issues, like many of us do, first of all, it's okay to not be okay. There's nothing wrong with admitting to yourself or even others that you're having trouble coping and you're having trouble dealing with it, and you're struggling. And I want you to reach out to your own support network, those around you, and, get the support you need. And if you don't have a support network, I know a lot of people don't feel comfortable sharing it. In chat's a list of numbers you can call or text 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. There will be a professional on the other end of the line who can be that support network without judgment, and they can help you out. And if you're not in the U.S. or you're watching this on YouTube, go to findahelpline.com, put in the country that you're located in, and get the support numbers for your country. Because mental health is important, and we want people to be around. Not just for, as viewers, but we want people to be around. So please do that. I'm going to turn it over to my lovely wife for her portion of the outro.
Seriously, do take care of your mental well-being. It is very important because as the mind goes, the body goes. But speaking of the body, make sure that you get your vaccines, get your flu shot. It is that season, and get your COVID booster. That shit is still around. I literally saw my PCP today taking our youngest child for her physical, and I legit said, it's hard to recall because there was a time pre-pandemic and now it's just been pandemic. Years start to run together when you're in a pandemic. So please, COVID's not going anywhere. Please get your vaccine. It's basically the new flu, and it does a lot more damage. So please get your vaccine. And give a damn about fellow human beings. Our government is funding apartheid. I'm going to speak on it. And I am not supporting Hamas, but the people of Palestine are suffering and have been for 75 years. And our government in the U.S. and in Britain has funded it and continue to. By the time we could honestly do a damn thing about it, they'll be gone. It's a genocide. But that doesn't mean we do nothing. We notify our representatives that we have elected that we do not agree. We vote accordingly to ensure that this is not allowed to stand. And we remember the Palestinians that fall as people, not statistics. It is not anti-Semitic to be against the Israeli government eradicating a populace. But on top of that, we have our own problems also here at home. We have a whole branch of our government completely dysfunctional because of one party.
Because of 8 fucking morons.
Register to vote, vote accordingly. And Ohio, you have an election going on right now. Virginia, you have an election going on right now. Fucking vote. Being passive will change nothing. Said with love.
I'm going to comment on the government thing. We got 3 weeks to a fucking government shutdown again because one moron decided to boot the speaker and 8 morons decided they'd rather watch everything burn than fucking govern. It's been 2 weeks since the speaker was removed and they've had 2 fucking votes. That's some bullshit, everybody. They have one job in the House to pass a fucking budget. So it's near to my heart because it affects my livelihood, affects my family's livelihood. Do their fucking jobs, people. Call your representative. If you're in a red state, call them and tell them do their fucking job. And I do thank everyone for coming.
Email because calling doesn't usually get through.
Yeah, they're getting beat up that way too. So I do thank everyone for coming. And I hope to see you tomorrow night for the premiere.
And they're all up for election next year, so vote the fucking GOP out of office.
Yep. I hope to see you all tomorrow night for our Vampire Kansas City. We're starting in Chicago for reasons, and you'll find out why. And it should be interesting to see. So good night, everybody.